state
Give it.
fair.
Let's sound check.
Yeah.
What'd you have for breakfast, Liz?
I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the giant pumpkin at the state fair.
Boo.
Did you see it?
Which one? There were a lot of very
there's
large
only
gourds.
one large pumpkin that won the largest pumpkin. I'm talking about the largest pumpkin. The
TM.
one.
TM.
What?
TM. Trademark.
Yeah, TM.
TM. The very largest gourd.
Did you see it?
Daddy's biggest gourd.
Pumpkin Maxon.
No. Dude,
Gourd mogged all the other gourds.
I'm in hell.
It outweighed all the other big pumpkins by like 600 pounds.
How much bigger was it?
By like 600. I literally just said that to you. You were not listening.
I'm checking sound while also trying. We.
I don't want to talk about breakfast. I want to talk about the largest pumpkin.
I want to talk about us.
No, I want to talk
about me and you. And
I want to talk about a big pumpkin. I was enthralled with this big pumpkin.
Yeah.
I was freaking out.
I'm freaking out that you're freaking out.
Like the second largest pumpkin
in North America.
No, in Iowa.
Okay,
at the Iowa State Fair. That's right.
Sorry.
I mean,
sorry.
Is there.
Sorry, liberals.
Is there any other state in the heartland?
Facts don't care about your gourds.
And it was like it was 600 pounds less than the biggest pumpkin. That was like 1,448 pounds. Actually, that's probably exactly what it is. I actually have a picture of it on my phone. Let's use facts when we talk about the largest pumpkin. And it was so incredible, and I couldn't stop talking about it. Also, I found a toad in my backyard, and I freaked out and sent a picture of it to my kids, and my kids were like, "Please stop."
Gourds are reaching thousands of pounds, and liberals have an issue with our ag system.
Hold on.
Sounds like a pretty good reason for our contaminated water table, our leading cancer rates.
Oh, it weighs 1,387 pounds.
1,300.
It outweighed the second place pumpkin by 600 pounds. My 13-year-old did the math on that. Imagine rolling up to the state fair and being like, I got a big pumpkin. I love my big pumpkin. And then rolling up to the like pumpkin contest and then seeing that behemoth.
And then Garth the Destroyer, pumpkin from Wapello.
And it's like, whoop, you've been out pumpkined. Bam! Gourd mogged. Like you, and I was just like,
what was his name? Her name?
It didn't have a name, but we should.
They don't name the pumpkins?
No. You know what? They should. Also, there's the toad that was in my yard last night.
It's a big boy.
Isn't he so funny? And I sent it to my kids, and
Garth the pumpkin.
And they were not
pretty
impressed.
Good. Garth the pumpkin. That's a good one.
I don't think that's a good name for a pumpkin.
Garth the Destroyer. Sorry, it's Garth, the Destroyer.
When you say Garth,
a pumpkin
all I think
by Zachary
about
Smith.
is
A pumpkin experience by Zachary Smith.
I only think about Wayne's World.
Yeah, one of those characters is named Garth.
Yeah, the other character.
There's like a lot of Garths.
There's just one other.
There are a lot of Garths like in the world. Garth is a name.
Not
to me.
Not to me. There's only one Garth
Not
in the
my
world.
America.
And it's Dana Carvey's. Okay, first place. Biggest pumpkin, 1,387 by Pete and Alba Caspers from Piasta.
Hell yeah, Piasta.
Look at that pumpkin.
Look at that boy. We're gonna put that right on the screen. That's huge.
It is,
and it's kind of lounging. I've never seen like a relaxed pumpkin, like a pumpkin that's really chill. But Garth is chilling in that photo.
He's just a big happy boy.
Garth is just hanging out. Like y'all see?
Imagine wanting to put that pumpkin on Ozempic.
Thank you.
That brings us back to what we really want to talk about today is how our Ozempic culture is impacting pumpkins of today.
And
y'all all want your tiny little gourds, but I'm out here loving my big pumpkin boy.
Give some love to your Garths, and
nope.
There's not like a immediate femme version of Garth is there?
Gwyneth.
Give some love to your Garths and Gwyneths out there.
Gwyneth, though, is famously problematic right now. Okay, have you heard about what Gwyneth Paltrow may or may not have done this week?
Oh, no.
So there was on social media this
murder?
Oh, she's definitely done that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's it within her right. Every skinny blonde woman has done at least one murder.
Yeah.
I believe that with my whole heart.
I can ship that.
Anyone who looks like they have been a cheerleader has done at least one murder.
Yeah. Log it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not innocent.
Explain the murder rates otherwise.
It's women.
It's
Do you know what is insane?
What did Gwyneth do? Tell me what Gwyneth did.
Okay, just real quick though, the murder solve rate is like 40%. Cops do not know how to solve a murder.
We'll get there.
We will get there. So on social media, on X, I guess we're not dead naming X anymore.
Oh,
I know. But somebody posted an invitation, what purported to be an invitation from Gwyneth Paltrow to her friends, saying that she was going to host a dinner in honor or like in support of Sam Altman.
AI boy?
Yes. Who we're going to talk about today. And this
Did he need this?
So this goes viral because people are like, this woman does not need the money. Why is she sucking up to the Marvel villain of our era?
Why? I mean, maybe this is a ruse. Maybe she just plans to feed him really dry waffles, and this will lead to his downfall. Have you thought about it?
She could poison him.
Have you thought about poison?
Have you seen those videos of Gwyneth Paltrow like making her boyfriend breakfast every morning? We have different algorithms.
Yeah, man. Where she's like slipping hemlock into the batter. Like what do you mean?
She'll go out, she'll wake up early in the morning and then she'll go out and like grab some like vegetables and herbs from her garden and then like make this like really insane omelet. And every time she goes out to her garden, I'm always like, how many poisons is she growing out there? But this whole thing kind of
hemlock.
Yes.
Girl boss.
Gatekeep. Girl poison. I have hemlock in foxglove in my garden just for funsies.
Really beating the women do be killing allegations.
Listen, I'm a brunette, but I want to keep up with the blondes. You know, they do have more fun and more murder. I've always said. But it might be this invitation might be an AI job. Like it might be a fake invitation. So the
irony.
Yeah. So Goop then later that's the
I know.
Okay.
I just forget that she named her company that she derives income from Goop.
So I'm gonna show you the latest that she posted. So
do I have a boogie in my nose?
I don't care. Gross.
I don't want to be on camera with the boogie.
I don't see it
in my your left nostril. It's my nostril though. It's your left, but it's my nostril.
You can go blow your nose.
I think I'm okay.
Okay, so the Gwyneth Paltrow team did not confirm nor deny these allegations, but they did post on social media a whole bunch of the invitations, but mocking it, saying that they were going to host a dinner in honor of Megan, you know, the murdering robot from
Hilarious.
the movie.
Yeah.
Samantha Jones, our favorite.
Sam Joe. Yep.
Yeah. Shrek. Yeah, it wasn't that funny.
Yeah, it would have been big. That would have hit in 2018.
Or like 2004.
The memification of Shrek becoming a funny thing feels like post 2016.
I don't think Shrek's ever been that funny.
That's insane. You haven't been smash mouthing the way I've been smash mouthing on the internet.
I hope I never smash mouth the way you smash mouth. Jessica Rabbit. Why? That's not even that funny.
Yeah, that's just hot.
And then
sounds like
Chanty Beluga.
Chanty Beluga.
Oh, you haven't heard about that meme?
No.
It's just a dumb name these comedy writers thought up of, and then it turned into a meme. Anyway, so it appears it might be an AI thing, or it might be real. We cannot seem to know.
That does not sound like a negation to me.
It doesn't sound like a negation. It sounds like anyway. So the misinformation, we don't know what's true, what's real.
This is a really good
Intro?
place to start. Yeah.
Zach, what is the name of this podcast?
Hello and welcome.
And who are we?
Fuck. Hello. Let me get
I
that.
don't ever know who I am until he tells me.
Hello and welcome to Dingus of the Week. I'm Lyz. I did the thing again.
You forgot how to read?
No, I forgot to make a
Intro? Let me try.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to be able to do it.
Hello and welcome to Dingus of the Week. What do you got?
Hello, and welcome to Dingus of the Week, the comedy political podcast show where we kick over the rotten log of America and see what scurries away.
That was pretty good. I'm Zachary Oren Smith. I'm here with the GOAT, Lyz LENZ, author of the Dingus of the Week. This podcast is the audio second course to that newsletter's visual feast. Sign up at its new home on Patreon. That's patreon.com/LyzLenz. Wherever you listen, help support the show by doing all of the following. 1, go right now, youtube.com/@Dingus of the Week. Like and subscribe over there. Hit that bell. Give some love.
Please.
2,
Clap. Please
clap.
Jeb
Rate
voice. Please
and review us over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. It's a great way to show some love to the show. 3, share this episode with a group chat near you. And of course, become a patron of the Dingus Arts by going online to patreon.com/LyzLenz. At $5 a month, you can keep this show coming all year long. Now, Lyz, one of your audience members surely has a real piece of work in their lives. You know, they can bring it to the show by going to memo.fm/dingus or send an email to menyellatme@gmail.com. Tell us about this rapscallion, this very bad dude. Leave a voicemail and it might just make it to this very show. Now, Lyz.
Wow.
Who's the Dingus of the Week?
How sexist of you to assume that dinguses are all men.
You're right. Y'all have women famously have broken through the glass ceiling.
In fact, last week, our dingus was a young woman pushing the boundaries in the field of scamming and dingusry. I actually feel young women are uniquely positioned to scam super well.
The thing is, because I'm responsible for making the thumbnails. The face that ends up on the thumbnail is the way I store the memory of one of these shows, and so because Mike Lindell was the big ugly face that was on the thumbnail, that's the only dingus I can remember.
Remember Mike Lindell?
I can only remember anything in terms of thumbnails. So
wow, you don't remember Nepo Baby Gates?
Nepo Baby Gates.
That's who we talked about last week.
Yeah, good recall. Nice.
I literally wrote the whole show. But this week, we are going to be talking about the dingus that I can't believe I haven't named as dingus yet, because it has dominated, I think, the whole year of, I think, like, you know, local news stories, national news stories, and that is flock cameras.
Guys.
These fucking guys. So flock cameras, you probably have them in your communities.
I counted. I passed by on my route to record this podcast no less than 16.
That's right. And there are maps out there where you can see how many there are in your communities. And they've just kind of exploded across the country without our permissions. And this is where I'm going to shout out the newsletter community, because we've had a lot of conversations in the Discord. My newsletter has a Discord, and they've been talking a lot about how they've been organizing their communities against flock, how they've all been showing up at their city councils, and they've also been discussing like the differences between flock and like a CCTV.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Huge.
And there's a huge difference. Right. And I don't think a lot of people know this, because if you like read your local Nextdoor, you read your local Reddit, people will be like, why do you oppose a surveillance camera? Just don't do anything wrong. Well, let's get started, shall we? Crack your fingers.
Crack. Yeah.
Let's fucking go. Okay, so in 2017, Garrett Langley, who lives still perhaps in Atlanta, doesn't matter, was furious. And at this point, this is we can all identify with this. There was a rash of car break-ins in his neighborhood, and he called the police and was like, hey, could you please come do your job? And they were like, per the lore. Now, this is the lore. And how much do we believe the lore of somebody who embedded something evil? But the lore is the police were like, I don't know, get a license plate reader for your neighborhood.
Right.
He looked it up. Those things are like $20,000. And it's like, what else are the police doing?
It's a great question.
The police constantly justify themselves of being like, well, what else are you going to do? Who's going to protect you?
It's public safety.
You
want public safety, right?
What are you going to do? Right? Public safety. Yeah. And then you call for public safety and they're like, I don't know. What are you going to do? This happened to me back in 2020 when I was getting tons of death threats. Right. Tons of death threats. Like pictures of my old home where I don't live anymore and is not affiliated with me in any way. But that's where if you like search,
right,
that's what would come up. Pictures of that house in like, bullet like gun sites, right. People literally sending me messages saying, I am on my way to Cedar Rapids with a gun to kill you. Like this is like by every legal definition of a threat, I was getting those threats. I'm just going to keep going a little bit more specifically because when people are like, oh, a threat, okay, get over it. Like I was getting images emailed to me of like me being raped, right? Like photoshopped images. This was before AI. I'm a little bit glad of that. Yeah. But like, and I finally like compiled a whole folder of this. Went to, working with a friend of mine who works for the FBI in Chicago, like first went to that local FBI office. Then they were like, okay, well, you know what the FBI guy said to me?
Yeah. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Did you know that?
No, but do you know what he said to me when I finally met with him and showed him everything?
No.
He goes, well, politically, we might not agree on much, but these are threats. And I was like, why would you lead with that?
Weird intro phrase for that sentence, brother.
Did not make me feel safe at all. And I was like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Right? Like if one of these guys shows up to my house.
Yeah, and all I got is like Chudley going through my tweets looking for like stacking the ACAB notes.
Right. So then, and so like they're like, okay, well, open a file. And like the whole point, my FBI friend in Chicago, she was like, listen, they're not going to do much, but they'll open a file. So if something happens to you, at least they'll know where to start looking. And I was like, comforting.
So once I'm murdered, you might find the perp. That's nice.
Probably not, because the murder solve rate,
that's right,
it'd be low.
Yep.
And so then I go to, and she's like, and then the FBI guys are like, okay, we got a file. Here's our card. Now go to the local police, because the police wouldn't take me seriously until I had gotten the FBI. I go to the local FBI or the local police office. I sit there in the fucking waiting room for forever. Finally talk to somebody, tell them everything. And they go, huh? Okay. And they go, what do you want us to do about it? And
well, someone made a threat, which on my life, which I would say is a crime in the United States.
Yeah, and I was like, well, like I'm getting death threats. Like I was like, I don't know, I'm not the cop. You tell me what you should do. And basically, the whole thing was like, they're like, okay, we'll open up case file. I still have the card. I still have the case file number. It's like on my fridge. It's been there for like 6 years, and they were like, and they're like, well, just get a big dog.
Which you did do.
I did
Which you did do.
I did do. I got a 127-pound Malamute who looks terrifying and has the meanest bark in the world.
That's right.
But like, that was a little bit of a side quest. To the point being, it's like, what are the cops doing? But like, what I did not do was go out and invent a supervillain technology that would surveil my neighbors and railroad the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because I got therapy, and I'm not like Garrett Langley, who's like, oh, the cops can't do their job. I'll go do it for them. I'll violate everybody's right to privacy and I'll profit from it. So that's exactly what he did. He basically, his thing was like, I put an Android phone into like a camera mount and then we caught the guy. And it's like, dude, and then that kind of turned into this whole flock camera, which is, here's the way it's different than CCTV. It uses AI. It says it doesn't do facial recognition, but it has that ability. It data shares. So all these flock cameras across the nation, they can all, it's like a singular database. You can search it all. And it's a license plate reader. That's what they say it is. It's a license plate reader. It also has facial reading technology there. They say they don't use it. I don't believe them at all. And so like it has this data sharing, it saves the data, and it's also not good at it because there have been stories of people, specifically Black women, who have had their cars surrounded by police with guns because they've assumed they were like crime suspects because the flock cameras read their license plates wrong. One woman, that has happened to her twice now. And so basically so Garrett Langley, in 2017, this happens to him. And because this rich man can't have his catalytic converter stolen, he invents this AI camera. And basically that same year, he's already developed it, had his startup infiltrated into, not infiltrated, but like in Y Combinator.
Right. Which is you want to say a little bit about Y Combinator?
Yeah. So Y Combinator is this like kind of startup group, and it was co-founded by Sam Altman. Again, the Marvel villain of our time, who is behind every evil thing in America. You know, the guy who was like, hey, you want your AI girlfriends who are like basically sucking up the Ogallala aquifer with a big giant straw? That thing is getting tapped out. Did you know that?
But the thing, but that's my kink is sucking down the
aquifers. It is the largest aquifer in America.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I learned a lot about it while researching the Dust Bowl. Don't ask me follow-up questions about the Dust Bowl.
So Y Combinator, it's a big startup funding group. And they have access to a lot of venture capital funds, right?
And basically, if you get into Y Combinator, you're successful.
It's a cohort of people. You apply, you get selected.
It's like a fraternity for evil villains.
Yeah,
like rich Silicon Valley evil villains.
Cool.
You want to be the frat bro of rich boys. You get into Y Combinator, and so they're into Y Combinator. They're already selling to the next evil group in America, and I don't mean the PTA. Back to school starting. I hate the PTA. It is homeowners associations. So they're already selling to homeowners associations. And then right away, they're like selling to the police. So this is a private company using your tax dollars. By the way, everybody in America is like, I don't want my tax dollars to subsidize people getting sick and not dying of cancer. Meanwhile, your tax dollars are subsidizing the violation of your constitutional fucking rights.
Right. And I think that's why foundational myths are so important, right? Like the thing that story establishes is that we put government in charge of public safety, right? And in the case of these car break-ins, you can see government failed to keep the public safe. Therefore, this private company needs to insert itself into this situation, right?
Yeah.
And that's a really, I think that's a really compelling, story when it's like given in isolation, and we don't have these examples of people being confronted by police, right, for crimes that they not just didn't commit, but like were nowhere near being committed, right?
Right.
When we talk about the way that, and I'm sure we're going to talk about the way that police have used these databases
Yes.
to track their exes,
To
right?
do their own crimes.
Correct.
Because that is interpersonal violence.
Certainly.
That is a crime.
Certainly.
So, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But yes, so it's like, it's basically, I mean, but also like, if you think about it, car break-ins are not a crime worth burning down America for. Like, they're not a crime worth lighting the Constitution on fire for. Like, yeah, sure, it's annoying to have your car broken into. Yeah, some high schoolers broke in and took the change out of your car. That is annoying. Sure, some people stole your catalytic converter. Okay, call your insurance. It is annoying, and sure, yes, like this is like, yeah, public safety. There are other ways to solve this crime than like, it's like, but like
What are your rights worth?
Yeah,
right?
but
Like,
what are your rights worth? And like, and what Langley basically did was like taking a bazooka to an anthill.
Certainly.
You know, and like, and people are always like, oh, public safety, public safety. America has never been more safe than it is now.
Correct.
And that is not because of flock cameras, right? That's because of like wealth. That is like studies show when you feed people, when you house people, like we are a wealthy nation. When this happens, crime goes down.
Yeah.
Take all your money, Garrett Langley, and solve homelessness, and then you'll see crime go down. Or like put up affordable housing, you'll see crime go down. But no, he's like, let's surveil and monitor people, and then, you know, stereotype them. And then so he sells this to police forces and your local city councils across the nation, and they just start popping up.
That's right.
And they and people, God bless America. And I have a theory about why this has like been such a like bipartisan effort against flock cameras. But these things just start popping up right away. And people are pissed about this because, again, this is not just like a CCTV, which is like CC, closed circuit, right? Like you can't tap into that. It's not data sharing. It only keeps the information for a short time.
And you need a judge's warrant in order to access that information.
It's not owned by a private company.
Correct.
Like theoretically, Garrett Langley could just tap in and stalk you whenever he wants. Like he could.
Yeah.
And I don't want that bitch knowing where I am.
No.
I would like to know where he is, though.
We have these
thought.
We have these documented instances of police
Yes.
misusing this information.
Yes.
And in the state of Iowa, in Wapello County, right here in the state of Iowa, there's an example of the sheriff's department putting in their policy documents, right, that you're not to mention the use of these cameras in when you are interviewing suspects for a supposed crime, an alleged crime, because people don't trust them, because people don't trust the outcomes of them.
Nor should they. So let's get into the impacts of them, right? Yeah. So first of all, cops have been across the country. Cops have been tapping into this system and using them to stalk ex-girlfriends.
Yep.
Stalk and harass their ex-girlfriends. That's one of the first things that police officers have done with this. That is interpersonal violence.
Yeah.
That is illegal.
Yeah.
And
it makes you wonder, like, so what have they been doing before the cameras? Right? Like
still stalking.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
because also police officers have high rates of domestic violence.
Weird.
Yeah, it's not that weird to me. But so that immediately, right? We talked about people like license plates being falsely read. The other thing is, you alluded to this earlier, but people like cops will show up to people's houses and say things like, your son's car was in the vicinity of an area where a crime occurred.
Right.
This son is 9 times out of 10 a black boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. So you've just given them a whole new way to racially profile. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Just because somebody was in the area of a crime and now you're going up to their house and like harassing them.
And I think what's interesting to me about this is so the publication 404 Media has been really like doing a lot of great work tracking these abuses of this of local governments taking advantage of this private system of federal agencies like ICE using local governments as backdoors to access this information, despite flock safety claiming that they have no access to that. And like, what does it contribute to? What is the impact of this thing? We have reached we're in a state of pre-investigation, right? At all times, no crime. We don't have to know that a crime has been committed in order for Flock to be gathering information on me. That I don't know. I think that your biggest public safety activist would also be against the overreach of people tracking movements, tracking not just the face, like we don't put our kids on social media for a reason, right?
Yes, exactly.
What is preventing? Nothing is preventing.
And it's for the facial recognition technology.
Certainly.
So, yes. So you're talking about 404 Media. I was reading this morning about the way that this is an article on tni.org, but it's referencing research done by 404 Media. And it was talking about the way that ICE is using flock surveillance data for its mass immigration deportation program. And I'm just going to read this word for word. I'll read the name of the journalist after we're done, because I just want to give full credit if I'm going to do a full quote. As always, we will do that. Local law enforcement officers from police departments and sheriff offices were sharing flock data with ICE agents, in some cases illegally, because again, you need a warrant. This is in the Constitution. And people will always say, if you didn't do anything wrong, you should. Guys, are you idiots? The cops will pin stuff on you if you didn't. Stop this. How many times have you had to watch a Netflix documentary about somebody put in on death row for things they didn't do, and you mean oh, well, he was always a bad man? Stop. That's not how our justice system works. Right. Clearly these people were not raised with fathers who were lawyers. But anyway, so sorry. Sharing flock data with ICE agents, in some cases illegally, faced with a public relations nightmare, Flock executives first issued a statement noting that the situation was caused by decisions made in local jurisdictions, and then later announced that it would put a temporary halt on existing work with federal agencies. But that did not happen. And then the journalist goes on to just, say how many of these VC backed technologies where people, these billionaires, these Silicon Valley billionaires are putting their profits above our privacy and essentially funding authoritarian movements in our community.
Big ups to that.
Let me give this credit, because I'm actually going to link this article in my Sunday Links newsletter, because I was reading it this morning before we did some podcasting, and I found it to be very fascinating. It's called the Rise of the Techno Tyrants, and it's by Roberto J. Gonzalez, and it's in TNI, but it was published back in February. But again, I'll link it in my Sunday Links newsletter.
Totally.
But it's a fascinating way. But it's aiding and abetting these gross violations of people's privacy, people's rights, people's rights to just exist.
Right. We've seen that police departments in blue cities and red that they will that technologies like the Bearcat, right? Big armored vehicles that they will take and use any technology that they're given, right? So I don't think it's surprising that police departments would be going to their city councilors trying to get contracts with flocks for additional cameras on the streets, right? That's not a surprise to me. What is a surprise is that elected officials haven't pushed back at all, right? That it's in another Iowa example. In Coralville, it took locals banding together and saying like, hey, are y'all sure you want to give over this amount of security to this amount of like surveillance over to this company, right? Are you sure that you want to spend tax dollars in order to spy on your civilians this way?
Well, and the other thing too is like Flock is kind of giving people a deal on this, right? They're kind of like, oh, just take our cameras. It'll be fine.
And it increases their valuation, right?
Yes, it increases. But also,
right.
but also the question is like, okay, if Flock's basically handing out these cameras like candy, then what is it for them? Because they're getting tons and tons of billions of VC money. So they're telling our cities one thing and they're telling those guys another thing. Right. So what is the value? The value is your data. Right. The value is your privacy. How are they going to monetize that? That's where you should be scared because there is money involved. They wouldn't be getting money if there wasn't some way that they were going to make bank off of it. And there's no way a private company should be involved in our justice system. This is why private prisons should be illegal.
Flock claims that it's not selling this information right now.
Right now,
and they claim this, but like right now, they're this is not. We're not obviously not the first people to be talking about Flock safety. The PR for this company has been really, really bad as of late. And I thought it was of note that earlier this month they announced some changes, right? That, for example, instead of keeping tape for 30 days, they've reduced this down to 7. They're not required to hold by that. Local governments can decide they want to go back to the 30 or for however long they want. They made a couple of these like kind of half-heart like small changes with the notion that like we hear you. Let's make this surveillance state more palatable by doing these things. Meanwhile, we still have not decided that you can only access this by getting a warrant from a judge, which I think is if you're fine with if you have a Ring camera on your doorstep, if you employ some system of security cameras on your property, whatever. But if you're someone but if you believe, right, that some amount of privacy should be pursued by our society, I think a very modest proposal is saying I think a judge should be required to give sign. I think a warrant should be required for the accessing of this tape. Like I think that is a minimal standard and something that we have not. We continue to allow this private company to set parameters for itself. I've talked about this before. That like this is my big issue with a lot of these techs. Has nothing to do with the tech itself. It's that we are allowing these private companies to set the parameters for how we are to engage with one another, with our society in their context.
So 2 things. I am reading this book called The Empire of AI by Karen Howe. It's wonderful. And it's a history of OpenAI. And OpenAI was called OpenAI because they started as a nonprofit to like be like, we want to develop AI because it's coming.
That's right.
And we're going to be so open about it. And we're going to make sure it's good for everybody. That was their public statement. Behind closed doors, they were like, we'll be as open as we want, but we control everything. And in the meantime, they still had this like private side that was like fundraising. It was never about openness. That was always the PR move to like make people think that it was about your good.
Right.
And hold on, I'm going to bring up a quote real quick that was, and I'm going to paraphrase a quote that was in this book, but it made me really think about flock cameras and OpenAI. And it's a paraphrase. It's like, it was like Scott quoting Wayne Gretzky. So like this is going to be a little bit of like a nesting thing, but like this was like in the book. So Karen Howe is quoting the authors of this book, Power in Progress, talking about how like every technology revolution is not inevitable, but they start because they're driven by a belief that it's beneficial to us.
Right.
So like this is being sold to us as like, no, this is a benefit to you. Like just like how OpenAI was sold, no, this is open.
Right.
This is good. This is a benefit. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, these guys with their little evil mustaches are plotting because they would not be doing this if they were not going to get filthy fucking rich off of this. And if they were not going to railroad your rights in the process, and I use railroad as a metaphor because that's what happened with the railroads, right? Like they were like, oh, this is good. This will unite America. In the meantime, they used slave labor. They killed people.
That's right.
When they tried to unionize, literally shot them. Leland Stanford, you're evil, right? Like the Carnegie's evil. And then you're
fuck your libraries.
Yeah, but also those are now albatrosses on small towns because they can't keep them up, and then there's no more money to fund them because now the Carnegie Foundation is like, well, you're on your own now, and now you have these impractical buildings that are impossible to heat. But the authors go on to say only through cataclysmic shifts and powerful organized resistance can power shift from enriching the few to lifting the many. And, and I think that is one of the things that I am loving about the flock camera story is, I mean, obviously these are all these gross violations of our privacy, and I hate that. And it's being compounded with the police state. Also hate that. But I feel like this is something that Americans across the board get.
They understand it.
They get it right away. The vast majority, bipartisan, even your Blue Lives Matter brother-in-law is like, I'm going to take a shotgun and shoot this thing.
It's made watching get it. So the commentary that I get while scrolling at night has been kind of weird because my interest in flock has like a lot of flock related videos coming through. And you'll have people that are like they'll start the videos like fuck flock. They'll be riffing on the like obvious privacy violations, the obvious imposition of private industry on what was once a government service, the problem of the lack of warrants, etc. But then they'll dive into like other conspiracies that immediately come up because like the right wing also hates this shit, right? It's like, and to be clear, right?
Yes.
Like I think that's an important note to make that like if you are a don't tread on me conservative, right? If you believe right in if these rights are important to you, right? If you take the Fourth seriously, I hope to see you on the line, right? I hope to see you show up because.
And this is like worth going and yelling at your city council members about.
Always worth yelling at your city council.
Well, yell at your city council members about.
Yeah, that's
Listen.
correct.
And I don't even care. Like I'm friends with some of my local city council members. I'll yell at them. That's the job. That is the job.
And
if you don't like the job, don't sign up for the job. But like, those crazy moms for liberty will go and scream at a school board meeting at the top of their lungs. And that is why we have the book bans, because a small minority of evil white PTA moms, that's why I think they're evil, will go and do all of this. If the vast majority of us show up, we can shift. And this is the power shift that we're talking about. And right now, Americans are aligned in their hatred of AI and their hatred of flock cameras for good reasons, because this is imperialism and it is taking over specifically Midwestern areas, rural areas. and it's being sold, both the data centers and the AI, it's all being sold as a benefit to us. But like even communities where data centers have been built, you know, even a couple years ago, they have not seen any benefit from that. Those jobs are not good paying jobs, right? And they cause more harm than good. And it's just like with the cameras. And so my theory about the anger, the bipartisan anger for the flock cameras is it's just like one AI too far.
Mm-hmm.
Like already Americans were united in their hatred of data centers, and the flock cameras were just like one more thing too far. People were already locked in on the evils of data centers. And then when those flock cameras started showing up, that just pushed everyone over the edge. And I'm loving all the communities. What was that Winona, Minnesota? Basically, the community united and like knocked down every single flock camera. Good for them. Also, no, they didn't, because everybody was with me.
Yeah,
and they're innocent.
they have an alibi. It's important to note that when we're saying flock safety, we're talking that we're using that as like a generic NIM, right?
Well,
Because it's Motorola Solutions, Axon, Reeker,
yes.
Genetec. Like the problem, just like there will come a day. Right now, Flock has like a really developing a very bad reputation. A lot of local governments are going to disown them. My concern that I have in the back of my head is that, well, what happens when the next they just take out the same contract but with a different company that has
that's
the same
already starting
violation.
to happen.
And so just to make the point, right? Like the issue is the violation.
Yes.
Right. The issue is the removal of our some basic rights.
Yeah.
It's not just this. It's not just this bad actor. It's so always be vigilant, like vigilant cameras.
Yes. And I remember when I was in college and DNA databases were starting.
Oh yeah, right. 21 was it 23andMe?
I'm gonna start. No, it wasn't. This was even like pre-private databases.
Interesting.
This is like there were a lot of like controversies. Like small jurisdictions had their own little databases, but it like the conversation was about, do you connect, you know, all the databases, and is that privacy violation, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, but so that, yes, there is 23andMe, but people voluntarily opt into those systems, which is insane. Y'all are dumb.
They voluntarily, I don't know that everybody knew the impacts that could have on their like security, right?
But
so, like,
yeah,
I don't think people knew that would be tracked.
When they connected their data, I'm not saying this is perfect, but you still need a warrant, right? Like to access that data, right? Like you still need a warrant to get someone's DNA. You still need a warrant then to use that DNA and search the system. You should need that for searching people's fucking faces in a flock camera database search or their license plate. This is the same thing. But the difference is now is that this is immediately being privatized. And the cops are literally all in on this, and there's like there's no conversation happening about it except the conversation that we force. And I do love that Americans are forcing it, and it's bipartisan, and you know, like Bonnie and Clyde, those motherfuckers. Also, really funny note. AI on AI violence.
You love to see it.
You want to hear about it? Do you know about it?
No, I don't. Tell me about it.
So there was like a social media meme that was basically like, oh, did you know that flock cameras are filled with $650 in gold and 23 pounds of copper? Like somebody started this on social media to kind of like jokingly say you should knock them down and strip them for parts.
As a son of the South living in the Midwest,
hell yeah,
I'm not going to invest in flock. I will invest in the boys ripping the copper out.
So
that's the shit I do like.
This is like a jokey little thing that started on social media. People were like, "Yay, did you hear flock?" You know, like as a joke. And then what happened was the search engine AI tools, which cannot distinguish between reality and satire, began to then, if you searched what's inside a flock camera, would the AI summary would show, they would say they're filled with $650 in gold and $23,
It's
23 pounds of copper. So it was just like, it was like the AI was like just repeating the lie as fact, but in order to perpetuate violence against the cameras. And I was like, you know what? Let them cook.
It's basically a pinata. It's basically a money pinata, as I understand it.
I mean,
and that's just on your street.
Google says it's true.
And it's going around that on Halloween, there's some folks that are talking about knocking all the flock cameras down in their community. As someone talking into a microphone, I don't think you should participate. But if you did, it certainly. I keep reading on the internet that there's how many pounds
for
of copper.
legal reasons.
For legal reasons, you shouldn't do it. But there is 2 to 3 pounds of copper and 1 to 2 grams of gold in every camera.
Which one's my camera?
That guy.
For legal reasons.
And
weak. I love you. I'll be your alibi.
But careful with that reciprocating saw.
I mean, yeah, be careful, please. Because we still don't have healthcare in this country. But we do have weapons, so guess we can use them.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. So, Zach, I referenced that the Discord for the newsletter has had some really great conversations about cooking on flock cameras. I've learned a lot of information about it. It's caused me to go deep down the rabbit hole. Now I'm reading a lot of books about AI, partially for book research, partially because, this is my work, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, you're a sicko for this kind of thing.
I'm a little sicko. This is my job. But I love that the community has been talking about this, explaining things to one another in a way that has been wonderful. We've had people go in and say hey, talk to me about why this is different than normal surveillance that they have maybe in London, and then having people respond in a way that is not condescending, that is not aggressive, that is like, oh, I'd love to help you. Here's how I understand it. Right. And so that conversation I noticed happening last week, and I was just like, oh my gosh, if all conversations could happen this way, right? It would be so wonderful. Yeah. And now I sound condescending, but I was like, I'm so proud of everybody in there, because that's a way to open up a learning space where nobody feels threatened, and people can say, okay, I really don't understand this, but help me get why you're so angry about it.
That's a dream. That's really dreamy. A dream. That's what a great way to learn about a topic.
And if you become a subscriber, you immediately get access to that Discord. The link is in your welcome email, but if you can't find it, you can always message me. Yeah. I'll send it to you. But the other thing I wanted to mention too is that there are readers of the newsletter who are organizing their communities against Flock.
Amazing.
Yes. And Tony, one of the readers, was posting in the Discord this week about the way that they were helping to organize their town in Northern Illinois. I guess maybe I don't want to give too many identifying details. But I did link a little story in the newsletter, and because she linked it in the Discord, and it's just amazing to see people not just talk, but also say here's what I'm doing. And they also had a bunch of stickers and stuff that called out city council people, be I voted for Flock, derogatory, and with the pictures of the city council people. So it's very clever and wonderful, and it's a group of people who are putting their actions where their beliefs are. So I
like the idea of a story not stopping at once you hit publish, that it kind of lives with readership, and that readerships them are participating with that story, right? There's a way that I think is really that's really exciting.
I think there's something I struggle with too as a journalist is you follow stories stories, but you can't follow every story all the time.
Yeah, truly.
And you can't, and so you talk to people about something that's affecting them, and then you write your story, and then you move on. But people still have to live with it.
That's right.
And that always bothers me too, that like, and we live in the communities we report on.
Right.
So like we can report on a thing and then we still have to live it with the rest of the community. But we sometimes can't always get involved.
There's some restaurants in town I'm not allowed to go to no more.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Very famously, there's a place in town where I should not walk into. I actually did a couple weeks ago, and the ugly stares I got, but I was like, kick me out then, bitch. It's been a couple years.
I'm here for beignets. Beignets and fights. Let's go.
As if there's, I guess you live in Iowa City. There's beignets there. There's no beignets in Cedar Rapids. But
I don't know why that was the pool. There are no beignets in Iowa City, but
I'm here for beignets and fights, and y'all are all out of beignets.
Yeah, they don't have beignets famously in the Midwest. That's true.
But because we report on stuff that limits our ability to get involved, I don't think people always understand that line we sometimes have to hold as journalists, where it's like, okay, if we're going to report on things, we can't always get super involved. It's a fuzzy line.
Totally.
It's different. You're
Different
depending on how you're
stories,
employed. Blah. It's a mess, but it is really hard. And so, but it's always great to see when people read a story and then get empowered to do the actions in their own community. And I think that, like, I've always said this, that the antidote to despair is community, and doing these actions is just like finding your one thing, your one thing. And if hypothetically your one thing is shooting down some flock cameras, then, then you found your thing. And God bless.
And it's good to have hobbies.
It's so good to have a hobby. And listen, if we're gonna live in a right to bear arms country, then you bear those arms.
Let's get back to the show. Let's bear those arms and take them back to the show.
Arms.
Ooh.
I want to talk about Jason Kelsey.
Let's talk about Jason Kelsey.
Never on the show have I been so excited to talk about an NFL player.
It's wild the amount of excitement you brought to Jason
Kelsey. So I love Kylie Kelsey.
Yeah.
I am on the record.
You
Huge
stan
Kylie.
Love
I love her podcast.
Cool. Not
gonna lie with Kylie Kelsey. I think she is so funny. She's a great interviewer. I'm a huge fan of Kylie Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
And I will broker no hate towards Kylie Kelsey in my home. That said, I don't trust a white male NFL player. Never have, never will. But her husband, Jason, this week, he owns a beer company called Garage Beer.
Yep.
He's a football player from Philly. He's got a beard. He's a dad. He loves beer.
That's right.
These are all dad things. Did you see the commercial after I sent it to you?
I sure did. I sure did. Do we want to watch it together?
Yeah, let's watch it together.
I don't know if
quick.
it'll strike us down for
And then I'm gonna describe it.
demonetization.
AI data centers waste millions of gallons of water. That's why Liquid Death and Garage Beer have decided to team up. We want your pee to cool these data centers. We want your pee. Please give us your pee. Let's pee on computers together. Cause we need lots to pee. Endless gallons of pee. Join our important endeavor. We want your pee. Please give us your pee. Let's pee on computers together and save humanity. We want your pee.
With Garage Beer's classic light beer and Liquid Death sparkling energy, the light beer of energy drinks, it's never been easier to create pee.
Let's pee on computers together and save humanity.
So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and have another garage beer or Liquid Death Sparkling Energy. Then send your pee to the AI data center of your choice. We even make it easy with these collectible, sealable mugs.
Such a good song, by the way.
It's a banger. It's kind of a banger.
It's a banger. So no, like
It's kind of a banger.
if like, you know, like the celebrities who did like the We Are the World, if they had sung
If
that
they had
song,
sauce, if they had sauce,
if they had sung that song, AIDS would be over.
I think that
World hunger would not exist. If Jason Kelsey had led all of the celebrities in the world to sing like We Want Your Pee. Remember Gal Gadot in 2020 singing like, I don't know, what is it? Imagine making all those celebrities sing that song on Zoom, and it was awful. And now everybody's like, let's forget that happened. I will not forget what you did to us, Gal Gadot. But like if Jason Kelsey had made them all sing We Want Your Pee,
incredible.
The pandemic would have been over in 3 months.
I just like the idea you show up to as an extra for this like this garage beer project, and they hand out based on I guess your vibe, like what kind of pee you get.
That's right. They all
and that old man got red for filth. That man, the orange bag of piss that he's carrying in this is so
dehydrated.
Heinous. It's so heinous.
The jugs of pee, the what was it, like the clear looking Stanley of pee for the mom. So
because of course, like someone's hydrating.
Right. So it's basically like a We Are the World fever dream for like piss.
And for me.
But like they're like, let's pee on computers and save humanity. I love it.
It kind of slaps.
It slaps. And Jason Kelsey, what? And he's teaming up with Liquid Death for this?
Which, so I was a critic of Liquid Death because like I think
am on the record as when Liquid Death came out, I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
men need water marketed to them.
Right, that's correct.
Men need water to look like beer to drink it. Yeah, they do.
I will say that their Arnold Palmer is quite tasty.
It is actually.
I will say that it is I do kind of like ripping a can for sparkling water, and that is a pretty reliable one at the gas station. I'm just saying.
He needs water marketed to him like beer to drink it.
It's true.
Yeah, he's all like, men don't need that. Crack.
Do you think it's beer? I think it's more. I think it's energy drink. I think it's energy drink coated.
Energy drink is beer coated. It's all beer coated.
It's. You mean it's always been beer? It always was.
Yeah. But here's the thing. We can put aside our differences.
Yeah, and send a bottle of piss.
And send a bottle of piss to a data center. Listen. I am willing. This is what bipartisan agreement looks like.
A jar of piss.
A jar of piss.
That's the kind of bipartisanship I want to see in my work.
My political tent is big enough to where if you want to send a jar of piss to a data center, come on in.
That's the welcome mat.
My table.
That's the welcome mat. That's the open door.
Welcome mat. And I just love, and I'll say this about the Kelseys because they are they're very in the public eye.
Yeah.
Travis, his brother, is married to Taylor Swift, who has been lightly political, not super, but lightly, gets criticized for not being political enough.
That's correct.
It's, oh my God, you can't win. But whatever. I have criticisms too, but it's whatever. But the whole thing is like they're very clearly a liberal coded couple, but they play to a bipartisan audience.
Right.
And I'm not saying that because like I want them to be on my team. I'm pretty sure if I sat down with Jason Kelsey, I'd find a lot of things we disagree on. And I'm not trying to like make somebody in my own image just because I like them. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say that like I think in the public eye, they have very deliberately walked a politically ambiguous line. Like they very much stayed out of a lot of things. They do a lot of fundraising for good causes. And I think that like their platforms, they, you know, use for good, but they also try to stay out of a lot of the mess. Right.
That's right.
You know, and it's like following that Dolly Parton mode of like using your platform for good, pushing the causes that you like, but also trying to have your fandom welcome all, perhaps. And you can see that complicated balance happening if you're an observer.
If you look deeply into that jar of piss, you can see that complicated mix.
But so to have Jason Kelsey walk out and just be like, fucking pee on a data center.
Right.
And like that shows you, I think what that shows you is how much all Americans hate data centers. And that is like, that's not even like a controversial take for this man.
The more there's been a lot of polling on public reputation of data centers, and the more people learn, when the number of people the amount of the more people know about it, the more polling shows that like folks' awareness of this issue has grown. It's not that they become like more okay with data centers. It's the opposite.
That's right. I'm going to talk about the Dust Bowl.
You've been itching to do it. Go ahead. Go off. Bowl off, Queen.
So the Dust Bowl was caused by, first of all, the government incentivizing homesteaders to go out to these Great Plains areas where formerly had been cattle lands, but then the cattle was drying up and there were still Native Americans out there. And the government was like, we can't have that. And so incentivizing homesteaders to go out and plant wheat in these areas. And then wheat prices during World War I shot up because the rest of Europe couldn't grow wheat because war. And don't you love history according to Liz? It's the dumbest version of it. And so then all these farmers started making bank off of wheat, plus tractors, helped increase productivity. But then post World War I, when everybody could make wheat again, wheat prices tanked. And now all these farmers who are up to their ears in debt because they had to go into debt to buy their tractors, now cannot afford their lives. So they have to farm more and more wheat to keep up with the debt load they had to take on to like produce the world's wheat. And now fucking Herbert Hoover, my historical op, Iowa's one president, and I hate him. And I've got a big beef with the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library. Come to my house. I will fight you with my bare hands. He was not a good man. Don't be like, oh, he was a philanthropist. He looked at starving people and was like, get your asses back to work. Anyway, this is what he did. So the whole point is with data centers is like they were incentivized. And then when they couldn't make money anymore, they started to like grow more and more wheat to make up the difference. And the government was like incentivizing them to do it. So what it was incentivized growth at all costs with no thought to the economic and environmental impacts. And then what ended up happening was the ruination of the land and an economic disaster that we still have not come back from. That also thousands of people died from. Thousands and thousands of people died from like dust pneumonia. And then nobody paid attention to it. Well, there was a lot going on in America at that time. It was like a Great Depression. Everybody was starving. Herbert Hoover was being a piece of shit.
A lot of shitty books.
Yeah.
Grapes of Wrath, boo.
That was happening a little bit later, but okay. The timing, the publication was anyway. We can quibble over timelines later, but you're wrong, and you're wrong. Don't you love talking to me? I'm an asshole. So, but the whole point is there is a huge parallel between what's happening with AI and data centers and what happened with the Dust Bowl. And what it is it's like government incentivized growth at all costs, which is sold as benevolence, but it's really a rape of the land. And it's happening as people are saying, this is gonna ruin our environment. Aren't you thinking about this? And everybody's like, what? And if you read this book by Karen Howell, she has, quoted these AI developers as saying, yeah, sure, maybe America's going to just maybe rural America's just going to be all data centers and that's fine. That's imperialism, right? Like you are taking rural land that belongs to the people and you're colonizing it for your profit. And you think the farmers are going to be okay with that? You think that, fuck you, we live here. And but there's going to be some serious environmental impacts that are going to be caused and incentivized by the government. But you know what happened during the Dust Bowl is they blame the farmers. They're like, well, this was the farmers' fault. It's like, actually, no. If Herbert Hoover had stepped in and actually subsidized and bought the wheat from the farmers so they didn't have to continually grow more and more and more, and then the droughts happened and then they couldn't grow anymore. But if he had stepped in, subsidized the wheat and bought that wheat and given it to the starving people, a lot of these problems would have been mitigated. But Herbert Hoover was like, nope, capitalism, I can't get involved. Bitch, you were involved when you incentivized people to go out there in the first place. The real villain the whole time was the Homestead Act of 1862. And throws down her mic and walks out of the podcast.
Liz, as you've been reading and obsessing over the Dust Bowl, what's caused you joy? What's been warming? What's been filling your cup? What's been giving you joy?
FDR.
Oh,
that's not. It wasn't FDR.
It wasn't FDR that filled her cup.
Well, he tried, but do you know the one program?
Liz, what caused you joy? Liz?
Conservation districts are the ones surviving FDR program.
Liz, what's causing are conservation districts causing you joy?
Kinda.
Okay.
Anyway, something that's causing me joy. Do you have any thoughts about the Dust Bowl?
None.
Do you think that my parallels about the
I have thoughts about the 1 hour 15 minute mark? Is that what I have thoughts about?
I could talk about the Dust Bowl more.
I know you can. Joy, Liz. Joy, give it.
Well,
give me that joy.
My greatest joy is that Herbert Hoover is dead.
Sick. Metal. Honestly, that's kind of a banger.
That's one less person I have to kill. No. So
Liz dancing on this dude's grave.
I've been out there to his library and I've been like, boo.
That's where I dumped my jar of piss.
Yeah. I would do it too. So this is the dead week, or this is the end of the dead week. So if you have kids in school, always the week before school starts is I call it the dead zone, because you have no childcare.
Yeah, dude.
Always there's no childcare. Right. Somehow there's just no fucking childcare. And even though my kids are older, it's still all consuming. You still have to lock in. And I'm still writing a book. And so I'm still but I also have to do all this stuff with my kids. And so the whole point is it's been a crazy week. And I've been just struggling keeping up with everything. No structure, no childcare, no rules, no nothing. Also, my kids are teens and they want to stay up super late now. And I'm I have to go to bed. And they're like, but it's 11:30 and we want to snuggle and
Dude.
tell you all of our thoughts and feelings. And I'm like, this bitch has to wake up at 6. How do you think we afford all your iPads? All your iPads, there's one. But I will say, I got to bring my babies to the state fair.
Yeah.
We had a fun time. And it was also like part of it was for book research. And so I could I was able to be like, hey, here's what we're doing. Let's lock in. And they locked in with me. It was
That's
very
awesome.
fun. And they had a good time. And we had that sweet corn ice cream sundae.
Mhm.
Did you have that at the
No, I
state fair?
didn't. I've seen people walking around with it. Really good.
I'm not an ice cream person because I don't like sweet things.
That tracks.
Yeah, that tracks. I'm a salty gal. That was so good. It's a sweet corn ice cream with caramel popcorn on top
Hell yeah, dude.
and whipped cream. And I took a bite and I was like, what?
What? The
Is this-
Sam Hill?
What the hell? It was so good. And I was digging through it, but I will say they put corn kernels on the bottom. And I was like, this has gone a kernel too far. And
We've jumped the shark a little bit at the bottom of the sundae.
I was like, this really popped up. This is a kernel too far. And my kids were like, get out of here. We hate you. Please stop.
Mother be gone.
Please stop. But I love the state fair because you get to go see people growing amazing green beans and giant pumpkins. And you're like, you little freaks, this is what
You
you've
little
been doing
nasties.
all summer?
Yeah. That's what they've been up to.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I
It is
loved
really
it.
cool.
Anyway, I had a great time with my kids.
Stay fair,
and-
causing you joy.
Yeah, we had a good time. Well, spending time with my kids.
I love that. That's great.
And they didn't fuss at me one time,
That's amazing.
which is different than when I took them when they were little. They'd be
To the
like,
state fair. Yeah.
I'm hot.
It is pretty hot.
Whoa.
And
Yeah,
dude, the way I sweated through
you did.
2 shirts, it was crazy.
Nasty.
was
Yeah,
really
I
gross.
like my hair. I tried to get video and stuff of me,
Mhm.
but my hair is all sweaty and nasty. And I was like, I'm not posting these videos. What's causing you joy?
What's causing me joy? So I love when I go to a gas station or if I go to a grocery store, I like to get myself a little something because I am a sweet guy and I do like a little bit of
You
a
like
sweet
a little
something.
treat?
I love a little treat. And right now, the thing that I keep returning to, when I say haichu, do you know what that is?
Is it like a taffy
Think
situation?
Think a really good Starburst. Think a Starburst, but
like
good.
high-end Starburst, but you can still buy it in a gas
High end
station.
implies that they're more expensive. It's just it is that kind of gummy fruit snack thing.
I don't like things that stick to my molars.
Well, it's not your joy, Liz. It's mine.
Not for you.
It's not for you. It's not for you, you little twit.
It's not your joy. It's mine.
The grape flavor specifically is perfect. I've always loved grape flavored things, but there's something about the just clean grape, it is the very taste of the color purple, and there's nothing I was having a kind of a tough day because there've been a lot of deadlines coming up at work. And I stopped by John's grocery store in Iowa City, and as I'm leaving, I was like, I'm gonna grab me. I will have a haichu. Can I get a stick of haichus? Pop one of those in the car. And I've just been having. It's been it's been downhill ever since that moment. At that moment,
the taste of the color purple.
the taste, the exact. I didn't say that. I said
What
the
in
precise
the Alice
taste
Walker? What
of the
in
color
the
purple.
Alice Walker?
I'm telling you, grape haichu, dude. Shit rocks. That or Mambas. I love Mambas, but I think I'm becoming Team Haichu.
Wow.
Thanks for listening. Patreon.com/LizLenz is the home of Dingus of the Week, a Men Yell at Me Media production. Love
He's
or
a
hate
12-year-old boy.
what you heard. Help
All he
us.
does is I like candy and thoughts.
I like candy. It fucks. Love or hate what you heard. Help us keep it coming by doing all of the following. 1, like and subscribe over on our YouTube. That's youtube.com/@Dingus of the Week. Hit that bell, like and subscribe. It's a great way to help grow the channel. 2, rate and review us over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You're likely listening to this show. I put a lot of work into the video, but based on the numbers, I think a lot of folks are listening if you're listening and you haven't left a review, let us, and you've made it to this point in the hour number 5 of this show. I cut out 3 more of her talking about the Dust Bowl. Rate and review us over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. 3, share this episode with a friend. I shared it with one of my friends from work, and they didn't know that the show existed. They were really excited to hear that there was more Lyz LENZ content out in the world. 4, and last, become a patron. At just $5 a month, you can help keep this show rolling all year long. Go to patreon.com/Lyz LENZ. Have a dingus of your own and want to talk about it, go record us a voicemail. You can do that at memo.fm/dingus or write in at menyellatme@gmail.com.
That's right. Send us in your dinguses. We will read them on the air.
Post haste.
We will compliment you. We'll say,
we'll whisper sweet nothings about you and sweet sharp things about
your dinguses.
Sweet nothings versus sweet mean somethings.
That's right. We hate that one lady's boss so badly.
Dude, we double tapped that one.
That's right. We hate,
that dude sucks.
You want us to hate your boss?
Yeah.
You want us to hate your ex-boyfriend?
We haven't had an ex-husband. We haven't had an ex in a while. Let's get an ex.
Send us an ex. Jesus Christ put me on this earth to hate your ex-husband.
It's nice to have a calling.
It's nice. It's my spiritual gifting. That and speaking in tongues and talking about the Dust Bowl. Oh, Zach, thank you so much for being the co-host and the producer. And that's it for me. I talked enough about the Dust Bowl, so let's just say thank you to Laura Benitez for our happy little ditty that's going to play us out.
Dingus of the week, lost your paddle up shit creek. You're not smart, you're just an a-hole. Elon's calling from his K-hole. Read those racist tweets, tell lies about vaccines. Perhaps you'll be our dingus of the week. It's a race straight to the bottom, down so deep it's hard to fathom. Fascists all take turns fiddling as the nation burns. Like those history lessons you refuse to learn. Dingus of the week, the country's past its peak. We're all paying for your sin, might as well let the brainworms win. You're why we can't have nice things. Time to bring back the guillotines. And now let's see our dingus of the week.
The Dust Bowl.
I'm gonna
So
if you say the word Dust Bowl one more goddamn time, I'm gonna lose it. Do you remember that time, Zach? Do you remember that time like Zach ran away screaming? Do you remember that time you lost? You lost it.
You know what was so interesting about the Dust Bowl?
No.
Is that
It's dusty. Get that dusty word out your mouth,
the
man.
biggest storm during the Dust Bowl dropped more dirt on America than what it took to dig out the Panama Canal. Than what it took to dig out the Panama Canal.
That's a lot of dust.
All over America.
I hate history. I don't think we should teach it in schools.
The topsoil has not recovered.
But the topsoil, Zach. The topsoil.
You live in Iowa. You don't care about the topsoil.
I hate
will
the
beat
farmer.
you with my shoe.
This conversation's beat me enough, I promise.
More dirt than it took to dig out the Panama Canal.
That's a lot. That's a lot of dirt.
Dumped all over.
I would argue that's probably the most dirt I've conceived of in my entire life.
It's dirty, filthy, nasty.
Okay, so now you're hitting it. Like now I'm kind of interested. Oh, there's like a sexy Dust Bowl. You gotta sex it up.
Oh yeah, really sexy when children were dying of dust pneumonia.
What were they doing on the vaudeville circuit during this time?
They were cutting
probably some nasty stuff.
They were cutting open cows and they would just be filled. Their stomachs would just be filled with dirt.
That's
what
hell of an image.
Babies.
That's a hell of an image.
Babies would just inhale dirt and then they would just die because their lungs would be filled with dirt.
Dust pneumonia.
What dust pneumonia was just your lungs literally getting filled with dirt. And then people were also living in like sod houses and dugouts.
And that's not good.
Girl.
I hate the Dust Bowl.
I hate Herbert Hoover so fucking
Dude,
much.
I do like that. I do like.
He was running for re-election against FDR, and he was like, they're just starving because they don't want to work. And that's how he lost to FDR, because FDR was like, man, I don't think so. I think everybody's poor because you made them, you piece of shit.
Well,
And
I'm
that's
sure
my mid-Atlantic accent.
I'm sure Herbert Hoover feels very bad now that he has gotten his just desserts on the Men Yell at Me podcast.
I almost made him the dingus of the week this week.
I would have screamed. He can't be next week's dingus. I'll cry. If I have to hear about the Dust Bowl one more time.
No, we'll talk about the Great Depression and how Herbert Hoover caused it.
By yourself.
Because he wouldn't do socialism.